Our special focus this Friday on headlines today. Are there any safe places for women in India? One would think that at least places of worship considered holy, men would behave in a civilized manner, but that's not true. Here's a look at some shocking pictures that have emerged from the Ganpati immersion procession in Mumbai. The pictures were taken by a photographer of a Mumbai daily midday. When all of Mumbai was consumed in religious fervour on Wednesday, a few men thought it was the perfect opportunity to molest women devotees. Look at these pictures one by one. First, a woman is groped by a group of men at Bharat Mata Cinema. It's clear that they're taking advantage of the crowd to try and feel up this woman again and again, taking turns. The girl moving against the crowd struggles to make her way through it. All of this happened when the Lal Bagcha Raja was being taken to Parel for immersion. For anyone familiar with the Ganpati Visarjan ceremony in Mumbai, you'd understand the kind of crowd that accompanies the deity, and the perverts here are taking advantage of the mob and the jostle to molest this hapless girl. All right, to exactly describe the sequence of events, it's over to my colleague Ruchika.
Well, let's bring you these photographs that were taken on the day of Ganpati Visarjan this Wednesday in Mumbai. A photographer who was perched on a flyover in Mumbai near the Bharat Mata Cinema caught this horror on lens. These pictures, we'll show you each one of them one by one so that you can clearly see the men and how they groped this woman. In this picture, you can see this man in checked shirt who's first seen groping this woman devotee. And then as the woman devotee manages to make her way through this, she's groped, she's molested by another man. This one in a red shirt who tries to grab the same girl. It's not lost on anyone what these men were actually trying to do, even though they seem to pretend that they were really jostling, pushing their way around through the crowd. There is a sea of humanity that turns up for Visarjan, and they were clearly seen taking advantage of that. Not done yet. This girl's trauma doesn't end there. She then walks straight into pervert number 3, a man in saffron t-shirt who's seen here, the third man who gropes her. And finally, let's bring you the fourth picture where the same man in the black and white shirt, he again tries to grope this girl. Here's just one instance of a woman devotee who was molested during Ganpati Visarjan, and this at a time when we know Mumbai police had put in place a special anti-harassment police squad on duty in plain clothes to prevent such horrible cases. Clearly, there's more than policing that is needed to stop this shame.
Thanks, Ruchika, for taking us through those gruesome pictures that a photographer of midday has managed to capture on the day of the Ganpati Visarjan. Really shocking pictures there. People trying to molest a hapless young girl who's caught in that crowd. Let's remember, there's a sea of humanity in Mumbai. Thousands of people on the streets moving towards the ocean, and instead of trying to focus on the devotee, remember this is a religious occasion, these perverts are trying to molest a hapless young girl. Finally, we would like to ask for your help in identifying these molesters. At least one of them can be seen clearly on the camera. We're going to try out and play out those pictures for you. This man in the black and white check shirt was present at the Ganpati procession near Parel on Wednesday. The picture was clicked around 1:30 p.m. near the Bharat Mata Cinema. So if you know the man and his whereabouts that day, please inform the police and help that girl get some justice. All right, so let's get an word from Atul Kamble, the midday journalist who managed to capture those pictures on his camera. We also have our correspondent Vikas Mishra from Mumbai. I'm going to come to you first. Atul, really gruesome pictures you managed to capture that day. And I'm sure it wasn't this one particular incident. There are thousands of women devotees on the streets of Mumbai, and I'm sure a lot of them suffer a similar fate. Atul, can you hear me?
Hello, yes.
Atul, I'm saying you've done a fabulous job of capturing those pictures on your camera. They show the kind of the perverts that are present on the streets of any big city, especially Mumbai, taking advantage of a crowd situation and molesting a hapless girl. Not one, but at least 3 of them jumping at her.
Lal Bagcha Raja immersion processing going on. That time I got the picture. Hello. Hello.
Atul, please go on.
Hello. If you can see today's midday, I catch camera, these guys misbehaving that girl, but the crowd is thousands of crowd is there, and I managed to capture that person.
हाँ अतुल, आपने बहुत पावरफुल पिक्चर्स ली हैं। आप बोल रहे हैं लाल बाग राजा के इमरजेंस से कुछ देर पहले की ये फोटोग्राफ्स हैं। आपने गणपति विसर्जन के दिन ये फोटोग्राफ्स लिए हैं। एंड जिस तरह के लोग हम देख रहे हैं, कोई भी उस लड़की की मदद के लिए नहीं आ रहा है। ये हजारों लोगों के सामने हो रहा है। एक अकेली बेचारी लड़की है एंड लगातार उसको मोलेस्ट किया जा रहा है।
हाँ, बल्कि इतना नॉइस पोल्यूशन है, और वहाँ पे आप मैं जहाँ पे अपना लालबाग का 20% मैंने फोटो ली हो, जो आज के मुद्दे में आपने आज उम्मीद की है, और वहाँ से मैं दिमाग कैमरा का कुछ कैमरा का किसी जरिया था कि जो वो जो हो रहे हैं वो मैं सबके सामने ला सकूं, वही जरिया था मेरे पास। क्योंकि ना फिजिकली मैं कुछ कर पाता हूँ, ना साउथ करके कुछ फायदा नहीं, क्योंकि आवाज मेरे बाजू वाला भी नहीं सुन पा रहा। मैं नॉइस पोल्यूशन था उसमें, इमर्शन।
All right, Atul, आप हमारे साथ जुड़े रहिए। हमारे पास we also have Kamaini Mahabal, a social activist, joining us on the phone line. Thanks so much for speaking to us, Kamaini. Your first reaction, really shocking. This is a religious ceremony. It's supposed to be a holy ceremony that's going towards the ocean for an immersion, and here we have some 3-4 perverts trying to molest young girl.
Yeah, exactly. So finally, holy and religious things are not as holy as religious as they seem to be. And basically, these are the opportunities, the religious occasions, when all the hooligans take the chances of attacking and molesting girls. And I think now it's high time the women and the girls open their eyes, even after the Asaram Bapu case now, that more than holy thou figure, or what the religious activities are, actually for me are a facade for having the criminal activities. And I would go to the extent to say that it's not the time to step out. But it is really sad, because Bombay is a city which is safe, and I would still say it is safer. But now, after this midday expose, you see even the police commissioner saying that bandobast was there. And
yes, absolutely, Kamaini. And this is what I wanted to talk to you about. Mumbai has a reputation of being a safe city for women. There's so many rapes that have been reported over the last 1 month, starting with that Shakti Mill rape story. There's so many cases of women being harassed on streets that have been captured on CCTV cameras. The police saying arrangements were put in place, but clearly in a crowd situation, it is difficult to manage incidents like these. But what's happening to the mentality of people on the streets of Mumbai? This is a city that was actually looked upon by people in Delhi as a safe haven for women.
Yeah, see, my problem is this is the whole, putting up on pedestals the cities being much safer. And I mean, we are also not talking about the rapes of the Dalits and the Adivasis. In fact, after the December 16 gang rape, there have been 101 rapes of Dalit girls in the various cities. It has been recorded. So where is the media talking about that? So for me right now, each and every place, every city, every town, every village is unsafe for women, which is such a tragedy in the so-called democracy, which is sham of a democracy in India. So are we saying that the women cannot now go on streets or religious places? In fact, now women cannot be in the home also, because you have fathers, uncles assaulting the women inside the house. So which exactly is the only space left is to that we are in the space all around by ourselves. We can't be on roads, we can't be in our family, we can't be out. So where the hell are the women going to be and say this is our right to be safe wherever we want to go, whenever we want to go?
Exactly. Are there any safe places that really exist for women?
Take the responsibility, and they cannot say, that we cannot take care about that. And let me tell to all the parents here, who are upbringing their sons and daughters, let's stop discriminating, and tell your boys, your brothers and your husbands to respect women as human beings. That is the basic value which I think not even any religion has been preaching in the real form of the thing.
Absolutely, a molestation attempt caught on camera. This is something that happened in broad daylight in the midst of thousands of people. Let's also get in a word from our correspondent Vikas Mishra, who's joining us from Mumbai. Vikas, what does the police have to say? What are the kind of security arrangements that are put in place during Ganpati Visarjan? And this is on expected lines, right? Every year you see thousands of people coming out in the streets. The police needs to be ready for these kind of instances.
Police seems to be very insensitive as far as this case is concerned, because you go through the story when midday got his photographs and they approached the local DCP. Local DCP said that there was a proper bandobast and he cannot comment on the matter because he is in a family function. Then the newspaper approached the additional commissioner of the police. He said, I am on leave, so I cannot talk to you. So this shows how insensitive the police is towards this kind of cases. As far as this case is concerned, the victim has still not approached the police. She has not made any complaint. But why she is not doing that? It shows the insensitive behavior of the Mumbai police, because if the higher officer like this says that we cannot do anything because I am on leave or I am at a relative place, so it is not going to encourage the victims in this kind of cases to come to police because they have lost the trust. And as far as the gang rape case is concerned, the increase in crime on females are concerned in Mumbai. Mumbai is losing the credibility of being a safest city for women, you say.
Absolutely. Mumbai definitely losing its reputation of being a safe city for women. Shocking cases of crime against women coming to light from the maximum city. On your screens are pictures that were captured by a midday photographer. A woman being molested in broad daylight during the Ganpati Visarjan that happened last week. Really shocking pictures, and the molester, not one but three men coming and groping that hapless young girl who's caught in a crowd, taking advantage of the mob. These men are groping her time and again. We also managed to capture their faces on film. In fact, we're also asking our viewers to contact us and tell us if they've been able to identify any one of them. We're also being told by correspondent Vikas Mishra that the police says that all arrangements were in place and incidents like these can't be avoided. What does it say about the state machinery? I have with me senior lawyer Abha Singh, who's on the phone line with me. Abha, you know, we've spoken about the situation time and again in Delhi. The December gang rape case was really an eye-opener as far as crime against women are concerned. But, you know, these kind of crimes continue. And how can the victim even think of going and lodging a complaint with the police, given the attitude, given the answers that they're giving?
Yeah, you know what happens is a lot of victims don't go and lodge these complaints, and even if they go, then the police is not very cooperative. They taunt these victims and say something that you must be hearing like this, you must have behaved. So somewhere the inhibitions to go to the police station and lodge a complaint is the reason that these local goons and boys, they're taking so much advantage of molesting in a thing. And you know what is, half of these boys who are there in these processions are under the influence of alcohol, and the police does not take a strong action. When they see such type of boys, they should arrest them, pull them up, but nothing is there. In the name of religion, everything is passed off. So frankly, what has happened is there is no immediate punishment which is seen by the public, so they feel there is no point in going and lodging an FIR, and the police are at the right place. They are at fault. Had they taken a strong action, had that perception of threat been there that if you are going to misbehave, molest a girl, you are going to be behind bars, because this itself, if you see 509 IPC, it's a cognizable offence. The punishment is up to 3 years. That is outraging a modesty of a woman.
Right. So Abha, I want to ask you, so if the girl hasn't registered a complaint based on the pictures that are available with the police, they're splashed all over the media. We're carrying those pictures. They've been published in the midday today. Can the police not act on the basis of these pictures?
Of course they can. The police have powers to take suo motu cognizance of the offence, because there is electronic footage, and this footage is upheld in the court of law also, so they can always lodge an FIR if the victim is not coming forward, because a lot of girls don't come forward because of the harassment later on or the family pressure not to go and complain. So now that there is evidence, the police should do it, and it is shocking that they have not registered a complaint against these people at the first stage itself. That itself calls the senior officers to take to task the area in which this has happened. The inspector of that area should definitely be pulled up.
But Abha, stay on with us. I want to get in a word from our correspondent Vikas Mishra, who's joining us from Mumbai. Vikas, you're telling us you spoke to the area, the police in charge of this area, and he's saying that all arrangements were put in place. Any word on the identity of the assailants, considering that these pictures have been caught on camera? The police, as Abha is rightly pointing out, can actually take suo motu cognizance at this stage.
Very true. I will take your attention to a similar case in 2008 where an NRI female was molested outside a five-star hotel in Juhu. She didn't come ahead and complain about the matter. The suo motu was taken by Mumbai police because the same kind of pictures were taken by a broadsheet in Mumbai as well. So the photographer was made a eyewitness in that. The statement was taken, and on the basis of the statement given by the photographer, all the 5 accused involved in that crime was arrested. So same kind of treatment can be done in this case as well, where a photographer is there. There is a visual evidence how things are happening in place, and as far as the police is concerned, let's focus attention that there was 60 people team within the area where the crime has taken place. The 60 special officer team were formed to stop eve teasing. Even after making a special eve teasing squad, who were given a responsibility that no crime against females should be taken, this has happened. So police seems very insensitive as far as this case is concerned. And when I spoke to the officers concerned in this case, they said that now they will look into the pictures and later they will decide like what action should be taken. But there is an example of 2008 where the suo motu was taken. Police can themselves be a complainant. There is a visual evidence. There is a statement of photographer which can be taken who has seen this whole happening, even though the victim doesn't come and complain about the matter.
Because you're drawing a very interesting parallel here. A similar incident was reported from Mumbai and New Year's Eve in 2008, where a photographer had captured the molestation of a girl by a crowd of people on camera. And Vikas is pointing out that an FIR had been registered, suo motu cognizance had been taken by the police based on those photographs. I'm also being joined by Purnima Advani on the phone line. Thanks so much for speaking to us. Purnima, your first reaction. Now, these are pictures that were playing out, captured by a midday journalist. These were taken in Mumbai during the Ganpati Visarjan. And we have people on camera molesting this girl in broad daylight. Police hasn't taken any action so far. As our correspondent is pointing out, a similar incident was reported in 2008 where, based on photographs, the police had taken suo motu cognizance. Don't you think that a similar thing can be done here as well?
You see, a similar thing happened in 2008, but similar things keep happening whenever and wherever there are such types of rushed events, melas, processions, and ultimately it's the women who are the sufferers over there, and many a times molested. Yes, you are absolutely right in stating that a woman just does not open her mouth. She may not have the guts even to come home and tell her parents or her husband. Because first of all, if she does, she would be doomed over there. And then the police thana is a far-fetched event for her to go to. But even if she does find the guts to reach the police thana and lodges a complaint, more often than not, no action results. Always in life it is a situation where one has to judge at every minute between do I not.
Absolutely, absolutely. And in fact, we are asking our viewers to come forward and help us identify these men who were caught on camera molesting this young girl. Purnima Advani, Abha Singh, Atul Kamble, Kamini Mahabal and Vikas Mishra, thanks so much for speaking to us and getting us up to date with that story. We're really waiting for a reaction from the authorities.